anyone who's serving in the military is really a Blue Star family, because all of us are either pre-deployment, deployed, or post-deployment. We've got such a small military, such relationship to the missions in the world, that we are all in this rotational expeditionary engagement, and we need the extra support that comes with that. And that's where the idea of the organization came from.
You're listening to the 7 Echo Podcast, brought to you by 7 Eagle Group, the place where we highlight inspiring and interesting United States military veterans who have found a successful civilian career after trading in their uniforms.
It is Jordy from 7 Eagle Group. I am so super excited today to be here with Kathy Roth Douquet, the co-founder and CEO of Blue Star Families. This is an amazing organization, and we are fortunate to be teamed up with them and to help support their efforts. Kathy has started the organization about 11 years ago to solely support military families, and if my numbers are correct, it's about 1.5 million people over the years. She is a superwoman, having been on the Today Show, CNN, NPR. She's a contributor, USA Today, an author, an attorney. She has a TED Talk. And then just 2 quick awards I'm going to mention. She won the Secretary of Defense Medal for Outstanding Public Service and the Chief of Staff of the Army Medal for Outstanding Civilian Contribution. So Kathy, thank you for taking a few minutes to chat.
Oh, it's awesome to be with you, Jordy. Thanks for having me with you guys at 7 Eagle.
Tell us how you came up with the idea to start Blue Star Families, and a little bit about your mission and what you guys accomplished.
I married my husband before in the late 90s, and it was different being in the military back then. And I came from a non-military world. I met my husband when I was working at the White House, and I was an attorney. I'd worked in the foundation world. 9/11 happened, and suddenly I was part of this community that was doing a very heavy lift for the country. We didn't think it was going to last long, because back then wars didn't last a long time. But 2, 3, 4 years into it, we were deep in it, and we were working hard, and we were getting exhausted. And it seemed like so many of the folks in my life from the world I had come from just didn't know what we were going through, because so many of the people who serve are living now just so separate from the rest of the country. And I knew our job was very important. We needed to keep doing it, but we couldn't keep doing it without their help. We needed the larger society to be on our side. And we, the people who were going through the challenges, we needed to be able to explain what it was that we felt we needed and design the programs that we thought would help make a difference. So along with a group of other military spouses in 2009, we got together to launch Blue Star Families. The idea was that the Blue Star flag comes from World War I, when Congress said, if you've got a member of your family involved in combat, involved in the military during a time of war, you deserve to fly a Blue Star flag because you're doing something special for the country. Well, in today's military, anyone who's serving in the military is really a Blue Star family, because all of us are either pre-deployment, deployed, or post-deployment. We've got such a small military, such relationship to the missions in the world, that we are all in this rotational expeditionary engagement, and we need the extra support that comes with that. And that's where the idea of the organization came from.
That's a great story. I love it. And talk about some of the great work that you do, the programs that you offer to families around the country.
So Blue Star Families, we run on this ethos of listen, share, partner, and act. What are the problems? And one thing we know from living the life is that it changes. Being in the military in 2005 was different than in 2010, was different in 2015, was different today. So what is going on? And we do an annual survey that kind of gives the ground truth of what people are experiencing across all ranks and all military services, including Guard and Reserve. And we see what the challenges are, and then we share that with our partners. We partner with the right folks, and we launch programs that make a difference. We see that folks often feel isolated in the communities where they live. We're moving so often, the lifestyle's so different from our neighbors. We're not living on base anymore, that isolation's a big problem. When we also find out that financial insecurity is too, and that military spouses have this crazy high recession they've been in for 10 years. The rest of the country's having that now. We're 10 years into it, and it's growing. So our programs focus on engaging people in their communities. We have this amazing program called Blue Star Museums. Over 2,000 museums across the country make themselves free to military families, so you can get to know the institutions in the community where you're living in now. We do Blue Star Parks. We do fantastic theater programs, book reading programs, but then also on the economic security side, and this is where we partner with you all, we work at helping those military spouses get the training, get prepared, or pick up that career that they're already trained for and deserve to have and need to have.
Do you have a success story that comes to mind, a story of somebody you've helped over the years that just, sort of paints a nice picture of?
I love the story of Rachel. Her story really speaks to me. She fell in love with her husband when they were just out of college, and she had a career in the arts. She wanted to be an opera singer, and it was very promising. And the man she was dating, who she loved, asked her to marry him. And she took a long look at him and she said, no. She said, I want to be in the arts, and I can't do that as a Marine wife, and I'm going to say no. And they parted ways, and she didn't see him for a few years. And then one day, out of the blue, she got a call, and it was her ex-boyfriend. And he said, I'm going into combat tomorrow. It's really tough. The surge is on in Iraq. I don't know that I'm going to make it. I've seen a lot of people not make it. I just want to talk to you. If I'm going to die, I want to speak to you before I do. He didn't die. He came home. They saw each other again. He asked her to marry him again, and she said yes. And so she did give up her careers in the art, and they moved to Germany, and she had a baby, and she was unemployed. And they moved again to Tennessee, and she had another baby, and she was unemployed. They moved to Nevada, and she loved her husband, but she was feeling pretty depressed and feeling pretty down and pretty isolated. She heard about Blue Star Museums, and she took her kids, and she said she spent that whole summer in the museums around Las Vegas. And it gave her a sense of who she was and what she cared about. It was free. It gave her something to do with her children. And then when she was moving to New York, she found out that there was a Blue Star chapter there. So she joined the chapter as she was moving. It gave her a sense of community, but also she signed up for a Blue Star spouse force. And our career manager got to know her and knew her story, so that when an opening came up for arts in the armed forces, we put Rachel together with the leaders of that organization, and they hired her. And that's where she's working today.
Oh, I love it. I love that story. That's a great one. I love hearing things like that. That's
yeah.
So cool. So how can people who we reach at 7 Eagle Group, how can they get involved? If you need volunteers, how can people donate? How can they help support the great work you guys are doing?
Yeah, we need people to be part of us. Our Blue Star neighbors, our non-military supporters, are just as an important part of our family as our service members and their spouses and children. Because 1% of people serve 99% of people in the larger society. We can't do it without the other 99%. So we ask folks to join us as a Blue Star neighbor. Come to bluestarfam.org and join us. You can donate. Our membership for military families is free. They are all sponsored by someone else. $50 sponsors a family for a year. So we'd love to ask people to join and become a sponsor of another family, pay it forward, or in otherwise engage with us, and certainly look to hire or train that military spouse. That makes a huge difference to a family.
Absolutely. And we'll include at the bottom of this email, or bottom of this YouTube video, all that information that you just mentioned, so people can click over and link and help support the great work you're doing. I am so grateful for a chance to help you guys and make an impact in a lot of people's lives for the better. I appreciate everything you do. You're an amazing woman. You built an amazing company with some great people working for you. And again, thank you so much for taking some time.
Thank you. And we're really proud to partner with Seven Eagle. We appreciate you guys too.